You ready to kick some ass?
You did it again! Turn it up. Turn your radios up. Hey, yo, turn it up. Fire up another joint. Yo, rockin' with
charlieglass.
See the temperature just dropped. Always got a little colder whenever we on the block. Spitting game with these hot hoes, trying to cool them off. Says it's better to have never than never. Second thoughts and the rest. Cause finally there's no one left to impress. But she makes that dress and he's thinking yes. And she says I hate to digress, but
how did you grow to be so cold? Frozen in time up in the ozone. Kissing on clouds, you stay so thrilled. And they don't know, no they don't know. How did you grow to be so cold? Lip locked to death, I'm in a chokehold. Heart shaped from ice and you stay so froze. Got love for no hoes, got love for no hoes.
So I found myself standing out in the rain, lost somewhere in between the love and pain. Of a funny how often it seemed the same. Every goddamn time that I scream your name, till I realized that I was trying to change, to distract myself from the blind rage. Look as far as he can, try to find a range, and he almost had a lie to try to hide the hate. Who was he kidding? Who's ever really trying to wait? Mr. Right and Mr. Right now nowadays. So what you gonna do when he's miles away? Someone else gets to taking her smiles astray. We've been talking for months and you talk for a day, and I never had a chance is what you're trying to say. And you almost said you loved me basically yesterday. So I feel like this ain't just some game that you play.
How did you grow to be so cold? Frozen in time up in the ozone. Kissing on clouds, you stay so thrilled. And they don't know, no they don't know. How did you grow to be so cold? Lip locked to death, I'm in a chokehold. Heart shaped from ice and you stay so froze. Got love for no hoes, got love for no
You're listening to Charlieglass, Underground Express.
My name is HAZY FLOW. I'm a dub hop artist from the east side of Cleveland. This is what I do. I make a crazy mashup of some, it's kind of like alternative hip-hop, and it's got some new electronic and rock dub sounds to it, you know. I try to do a little something original because not a whole lot of people were doing it out here. You know, Cleveland is one of the birthplaces of hardcore, so it kind of fits in.
Definitely does. I respect the sound. I like the move. You know, I see a couple artists do a couple things. I'm not sure if you heard of Trip Machad, but he's coming through sort of on the same, not on the same tip, but spiced up that hip-hop thing. I think what you've done sounds real good. Talk to me about that first record, Cold. That record is hot. When I first heard it, you know, the hook on it is infectious. Talk to me about creating that.
Oh, well, that was a track that I had started out for this mixtape, and we actually, my drummer, his girlfriend, actually has quite an amazing set of pipes on her. So we actually had worked with her previously on a mixtape before and had her do an intro for us. And when I heard her, I was like, we definitely got to work with this some, you know.
Definitely.
And I wrote out So Cold, and originally So Cold, I was going to actually get a male singer on it. But then after, you know, thinking about it and realized what we had within our own camp, I mean, I decided to bring her onto the record, and it just turned out to be great, you know.
The record definitely is one of them records that, you know, you could turn on a radio station. I know we all hate to hear about commercial radio, but you could turn that on and you could hear it, and it will draw you to what you're doing. Talk to me about what influences you and this dub hop thing.
Oh, well, it was actually like I used to do a lot of just regular rap kind of stuff, and, you know, after a while with that, it seemed like, well, to understand that, let me start back. The whole reason I started rapping is because of Lupe Fiasco, because he showed me rap could be more than, you know, money, cars, and bitches. It could have a message,
Definitely.
It could have a meaning, it could have a global impact that actually referred people to thinking in ways that they should, as opposed to the way commercialism forces us to. So, you know, I just kind of, using his influence, I decided to drive my own lane into whatever I could. And, you know, I started messing around with all different kinds of sounds, but it was just when I hit onto that electronic music, that dub, man, it just clicked. I could write so much easier to it. It fit my style. It fit my personality. It was what I wanted the sound to sound like, you know. And then it ended up working out really good for me.
Now, how is it out there? I mean, again, you created a lane that probably a lot of cats out in Ohio are not touching. I've talked to like J-Dub, Scratch Paper Productions out there, work with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and just recently had Merce Maddox last week. And not that their sounds sound alike, but they're your eclectic, hip hop sound very good actually coming out of where you guys are from. How are they receiving this out there? Because it's different, and again, urbanites don't like too much different. But how are they receiving?
Right. Well, I mean, everyone's receiving it, in different ways. I mean, Cleveland has always been kind of a competitive city, definitely, where like everyone's the next up, everyone's the next guy, and so a lot of people don't like to show a lot of love right off the rip and everything. But I've gained a lot of respect out there for what I do. When the live show evolved and everything. I brought a drummer, a guitarist, a DJ into it and everything. The live show kind of took off on its own, and people started respecting that if they didn't respect anything else about it. But as soon as I went out of Cleveland, I started touching base in other cities. Like, I just went to Akron for the first time, like, a couple months, and they loved it. They want me back out there as often as they can get me out there. And they got me, like, 3 other shows in, like, the Kent and Cleveland area. And, it's kind of expanded on its own because people in different areas receive it differently, but Akron's always been a heavier dub community, so when I presented it out there, they just fell in love with it,
I respect that. I definitely respect that. I mean, you got to be innovative in this game, and, I hear a lot of mixes now of a lot of mainstream artists who are going in this dub direction. It doesn't fit, like what you created, I feel fits, and, with mainstream, they're only trying to fit in where they can get in because this is where things are going and like to be called the innovators. But I think you definitely got something. You definitely got something. Tell the people where they can, follow you on the Twitter, where they can see your visuals and talk to us about any type shows you have coming up.
Everything is on. You can Google me. It's Hazy Flow, HAZYFLOW. And, I got the Twitter at Hazy Flow. I have Facebook.com/Hazy Flow. You can find me on hazyflow.tumblr.com. You can find me on hotnewhiphop.com/Hazy Flow. You can find my YouTube at The Hazy Flow. You can also find me at reverbnation.com/Hazy Flow. And there's music all over the place. My most recent mixtape came out recently on the 29th of December. It was called Dope Crack Mesh It. It's an entire dub CD. It's very heavy dub influences, but also retrofitted back to alternative hip-hop. It's its own. And it's got rock influences because, I grew up as a big rocker.
Definitely.
So it was always something that definitely influenced my music. I mean, as you heard with Venom, it sounded honestly like a rock dub track, and then just rap happened to be over top of it, And, there's a whole mixtape of it, the hotnewhiphop.com link and everything. You can just go type in Hot New Hip Hop and then Dope Crack Mesh It, and it'll take you right to the mixtape link.
Nice. Now, talk to us quickly about who you listen to. Who influenced you in this day and age? Because, like I said, nobody's really doing what you're doing right now. So lane wide open, but I can understand the rock influence and things like that. But who do you tune into now?
Ooh, well, I actually, not too long ago, just started, kind of got to meet some of my influences. It was kind of sweet. When I was younger, I used to listen to a lot of, like, Slipknot, Mushroomhead, Marilyn Manson. Like, I was pretty heavy into the rock for a while there. And honestly, when I started making rap and hip-hop, it was the more intellectual lyricist artists that I always followed because I liked what they did better than, because I always felt hip-hop was too watered down from an early age, And it just wasn't my thing for a while. And then after really producing, started moving towards more electronic sounds, and the whole sound of every genre started changing, things got interesting. And you could make all kinds of music sound like everything or absolutely its own thing all at once, It was it became an ever evolving creative process that took me from one sound to another, and I actually got to meet Mushroomhead and hang out with them a couple times, and it was out of this world because they gave me advice on what to do, and they were very, very appreciative of the artistic shit that I had put into it. They really liked the sound of it, and they wanted to see me do more, and that's why I decided to go over the top with this mixtape and put it out in hard copies, which are also available. If you want to message me on any of those links, I can mail out hard copies anywhere in the United States.
Definitely. See, that's what's up. You're prepared. The music sound right. It's innovative. Y'all definitely, your listeners need to support this man. He's doing something different from everybody. I'm glad that we did this interview. I wasn't sure because communication, email. Everybody got 50 things that they're doing on here, but we definitely appreciate the support. And give your shout-outs to your people, and we'll keep in contact definitely because we're doing an event in a couple months, and we'd like a couple people to come out. You definitely being one of them because I think you add some spice to this whole hip-hop thing. But, again, we thank you, Hazy, for doing your thing.
Yeah, not a problem. I just got to give shout-outs to my whole Suicide Watch family, everyone in it, because, those are the people who've been with me since day one and on, and we've been building this dream together. And then I got to shout out Beast Mode, the fam that's giving me that shot that I need. And then, everybody that showed love and support got me to here where I am, and it's only going to get bigger and better. So I ask that you keep loving and supporting it, and I'm going to keep making shit that you guys are going to love.
Smoke something. You fucking haters.
You're rocking with Charlie Glass.